Monday morning, we're back again, and I've got a deal come from Expert Electrical. ExpertElectrical.co.uk have sent us a deal for our listeners. Now, it's a Sync EV charger. It is a smart charger that's small, compact, and trendily designed for any modern smart home. Go and check it out on expertelectrical.co.uk. It's really, I won't say cheap, but it's competitive. Go and check it out. Could be an alternative, and in fact it should be your number one go-to option. These guys are stocking it. Go and get it. Go and check it out and see what else they got. They do everything over there. Honestly, it's UK's number one electrical wholesaler. We love them. Hope you guys do. Now, Monday Club. Hello and welcome to Monday Club. It is Tuesday, so basically Tuesday Club again. In the house we got Nico. Mo, and we've kind of lost Mark for a little bit here and there. He's going to be popping on and off. He's just super busy at the moment. Oh, he's so busy being successful that he's had to drop us out a little bit. So what I done was I went on a quest, and we went to find this mythological creature known as the Quinnergy. And here he is, Craig. Hello. From Quinagy.
How you doing?
That's me. I've got a new.
Getting better.
Listen. Are you related to Rabsy Nesbitt?
Probably everybody in Glasgow is, I think.
Who's that?
I know, I'm about to Google it quickly.
Who's that?
You lot won't know about Rabsy Nesbitt, but me and Craig are the same age. So
he's a legend. He was a legend back in the day.
Yeah, Rabsy Nesbitt.
He wore a string vest and he drank a lot. And
Sounds like Sam.
No, listen, I did get drunk this weekend, yes. But in my picture I did look tonk, so I was happy with that.
Whatever that means.
Well, the picture you sent to us of you
yeah.
Oh, the one lying down with the vest on?
Yeah. Weren't even my vest.
Oh, wow. Whose vest was it, Sam?
I think it was my dad's.
What?
Because basically what happened was it was my brother's birthday, and like we just had the kids round and that, but my mum and dad got a hot tub, and me and my brother was like, should we go and get in a hot tub? Yeah, we'll go and have a drink in a hot tub. Anyway, so I was just drinking like Jameson's, because like a nice whiskey, Jameson's, come on. And I was just having a little sips and that, but in the hot tub, before you know it, like you've been in there drinking for an hour and you're not that drunk. But then you get out and something happens and it hits you all at once. And all I remember is Amanda, my wife, saying, hurry up, we're going, everyone's gone, and you're laying on the floor. And I remember trying to put my hard hat on, but I weren't putting my hard hat on. I was putting my trainers on my head. And I was like, I don't fit. So, I got in a lot of trouble on the way home. And yeah, so that was my Sunday. But yeah, I've got a bit of an interesting story. But first of all, let's have a little bit out of Quinagy. Like, his name's Craig, but I refuse to call him Craig. He's now the Quinagy because no one wants to be called Craig, really.
Nah. Craig's a boring name as well, and it's quite hard to pronounce, especially if you're Scottish as well. It's pretty boring.
Do you say Craig?
I say Craig, but everyone always says, I think I'm saying Greg.
Yeah, I see that.
Craig.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's difficult to say that.
I think Craig.
Craig.
I see that you sound like Greg now. It actually sounds like Greg when you say it.
Me?
Yeah.
Craig.
From Birmingham. He thinks he's.
I'm not from Birmingham. I'm from the Midlands. We're posh up here.
Peaky Blinder.
Oh wow.
By order of the Peaky Blinders.
Still never watched that.
Well, you wear a hat and you're dumb and you're from like Coventry.
I'm dumb. Wow. Okay, cool.
I'm on one tonight. Quinagy, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, where you're from.
Yeah, so Craig, as you know, Craig Gallagher. I'm 40, turned 40 this year, quite old now. So
I'm nearly there.
Yeah, it's getting bad. Served my time as an electrician. I served my time as an industrial electrician with switchgear, high voltage. Kind of went down that neck of the line. Didn't really like it. And actually, as soon as my time was out, I fell away from the trade and went into car trade, started buying and selling cars and stuff.
Because you're a mad motorhead, aren't you?
I
Yeah.
totally just love cars, man. Just love them.
I was going to say a gearhead, but that means other things in certain parts.
It totally does. I can't say that.
But, you know, you're a
That would get
motorhead.
me into trouble.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that on this podcast, are we? I need to I'm professional now. We can't talk about stuff like this.
Me too, apparently.
Yeah.
You know what? I had something like that earlier. Somebody said something about, oh, I'm going to go have a tab. And I thought they meant LSD. And I was like, what? But apparently it means a cigarette in some parts of the UK.
Yeah. A tab in Glasgow is a cigarette.
A tab, yeah. So, you know.
But anyway, back to the Quinagy.
Yeah.
You like
so
cars?
I kind of roundabout way, kind of fell out the kind of electrical trade. I just didn't really like what I was doing. Messed about for a wee while, and then I kind of get back into doing domestic style work. It was more so because I seen a kind of niche market and thought, let's try and capitalise on it. And it was testing, just basically testing. Just doing lots and lots of testing, and then scaled it up to doing like gas safety work as well as electrical work, and then plumbing, and then smoke alarms. So built a brand and thought, like, let's just market that one wee niche, and it was all about landlords. So for Scotland, where you are this year, we were there in 2015.
Oh, okay, yeah.
EICRs and all that.
Yeah, so EICRs were mandatory in 2015, and so were smoke alarms. So it just as you can tell just now, the floodgates have opened for years.
Yeah.
So it opened then, and then with Scotland, not a lot of people actually wanted to do it. So I just basically found that niche and thought, let's just jump on that bandwagon. That's what we did, and just set up a kind of brand just for that, and just looked at ways of how to scale it, how to make it more efficient, how to do it better than the person next to you, or some ways, I mean, we're going into this thing again where how cheap can you do any EICR, or how many EICRs you can do in a day or a week. It goes down to that argument. So we've found really good ways of doing EICRs quick and turning them around. So taking them on from work orders all the way right through to invoicing, that's where we are different from a man in a van, you would say.
This is quite interesting for me and you, because obviously myself, we've been doing it constantly for the past 2 months with Adam.
Yeah.
And we have gone to the swing of things so well between us, with both our testers, with me with the iPad. I'm at the board, walkie-talkies, he's going around, we're doing the Wonder Leagues, we're doing everything we should do so well now. Like, it's just a cracking gear that's just turning, and we can do an EICR fairly quickly. And straight away, as soon as I've got in the van, the report and invoice have sent it off. But this is why I don't understand with some of the guys that because I've been asked to retest, and I had it. The guy never got out of the van on the very first one. Just sat in the van.
We are still coming across that. We are still coming across people that are basically writing. So they get the work order and they write an EICR literally with the work order the next day.
It makes me laugh because the guy said, "Oh, it's a TNCS system." When we walked up there, it was a PME, and we were like,
"Yeah."
But
and then we started looking at.
You're always because a lot of people, well, not a lot of people do take pride in their work. Like, no one really wants to do a crap job, but then you've got people who like have other mitigating circumstances where they just feel like that's all they can do to earn money. So like, they might be up against it or whatever, and they're like, well, if I do 5 of these a day, I'll put them in. Well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, you get people like that. You get people in a corner, and then you get people who just simply don't care.
Well, I think a lot of it is, do you just have HMO properties, or like the licensing for HMOs is slightly different as well? So for an HMO, you need paperwork to be aligned every single year. So if it was an EICR done last year, they need another one done this year. So all they do is copy and paste the last certificate, and that's just to keep the licensing board happy. So that carries on a lot. Honestly, it's pretty bad, but we're now cheap enough that we can compete against the guys that are writing it out in their vans. So we're trying to promote just a better service, and we're quite visual online and social media and stuff. So it'd be stupid for us to then not do it properly to get.
Well, now you're on the biggest platform in the electrical industry. You know, welcome.
No, it's not on my channel.
I've not been on Nick's channel yet. I've been on Mark's.
Well, you haven't been on Artisan, who is the king, not Nick. Look at him. Look, he really gets triggered by that.
There's a bit of
No,
jealousy there.
no. I like
Right.
Jordan.
Anyway, enough of the storytelling. Let's get on to Kimmy. What did you do this week? What, you can't hear?
Can't hear you.
Sorry. Here I am. I'm back again. What did I do this week?
I'm even scared to hear this. I'm scared to hear this because of last.
This week I did more things than last week. I promise. So this week I finally paid my NICIC inspection fee, whatever. So I'm waiting for them to come back to me.
Do you want to try that again?
I got that done. I've been trying to do
NIC, EIC.
Yeah. What did I say?
I don't know. Something completely different. But it's all right. I'll let it slide.
Okay.
Sounds like you've let it slide, yeah. Sounds like it sounds nice.
So basically, I finally chased it up because I sent off my certificates to them and they didn't get back to me for about 2 weeks. So I called them today and I said, what's up with that? So they said, we can take your money now. So I said, all right, I might as well. So I paid for that, waiting to get that booked in. They said they'll call me back by Friday, hopefully. So that was a big thing I got done. And then I also finally downloaded software on my iPad to do EICRs. And this is one thing I wanted to talk about. The evolution of how we've been doing EICRs. So literally I looked at how I used to do them when I first started electrics, which was literally the little yellow dialogue pads with the first sheet, the second sheet, and a transfer sheet. And, you write it out, you rip out the bits of paper, staple it together, and, you give one copy to the client, keep one for yourself. And then obviously progressed into, I had an Excel spreadsheet actually. So when I was on like maternity leave and pregnant, I was like, what I'm going to do is I got the regs book, put it in front of me, got the Excel spreadsheet out and literally made the template for the certificate on Excel spreadsheet. So that took me about a week, but it
sounds like an effort. That
Yeah,
does.
it
was, but look,
Wow.
literally, like I had nothing else to do. So I did that, and that's what I've been using until literally like last year, I think. I just got so used to it that I didn't bother looking at anything else. And then last year I transferred it over to a PowerPoint, believe it or not. So it was literally a PowerPoint I used to do my certificate on. So it looks legit. And then I used to save it as a PDF. And then I used to have the schedule of rates on a separate PowerPoint because it's landscape rather than portrait, and the rest of it was portrait. And then I used to have to use a software on Google called like Merge PDF to put the two PDFs together to make the certificate. This is how I've been doing my certificates until last week. Until last week. And can you imagine? I was so comfortable and so used to doing that I never thought to try out different apps and stuff. And do you know what it is? Because the social housing jobs I've been doing, we've been literally given pieces of paper. You write out the scheduler rates, and then on the other side, you've got the tick sheet. You literally do that. You send it off, and they fill in the rest of it. So we never have to, do all the bit at the front and so forth and so forth. Somehow they do it from the pictures and the information you provide them. So yeah, it was literally until last week that I've been doing certificates in that way. And that's why it always took me so long, because I'd have to write it on my phone, take all the pictures, then come home, get the PowerPoint out, do the first set, second set, merge it together, rename it, So last week, I finally downloaded an app called iCertify, I think it is. And oh my God, the certificate literally took me like 10 seconds to write up, 10 minutes or whatever. Because obviously I tested it on site, came home, and you literally just click. Like, instead of having to write it out each time, it literally has options where you click, is this a lighting circuit? You click it and then it'll automatically think, oh, look, 1.5, 1 mil CPC. And then it will put NA where, you think it's going to be NA. And then you can also select your tester, what the insulation resistance thing is. So mine's like greater than 999. Or, you got the greater than 200 or whatever else. So it automatically fills that in for you. So literally, you open it and within like a few minutes, you can transfer all the information onto the certificate. You click a button, it saves it. It's beautiful, ready to send. And you can already pre-type the email that it will attach it to. It's life-changing.
Can I just say something? Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's been
Yeah.
around for a long time.
Oh, we've been doing it for quite a few years, to be honest.
Okay, but I didn't know this because I've been
Yeah.
in social housing stuff, and they're so outdated. They don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We don't get iPads on most of the social housing jobs. I think that must be a new thing that they've been doing recently. No iPads, no nothing. Literally piece of paper, type it out, take a picture, send it off. So
But it's good you've discovered that. That's really
yeah,
good,
and
like-
also and you know what? You can change the colors. You can even put your logo on it. This is honestly for me, it was life changing. And I only discovered that this week.
The only one thing I'd say about that is where do you save your copies? Do they save
They save
on
the copy. So apparently this app doesn't save the copies. If you unsubscribe from the services, you lose them forever. I've been warned. However, where I'm sending them off, I'm relying on the email that the sent items to store the certificate.
So when you join the NIC, you'll be able to use their software.
Don't tell them that. I'm not planning to use them all the time. I just want the sticker.
Yeah, I've heard their software's not the best.
It's just my achievement.
Their software is difficult to use. If you want to do a lot, their software is difficult to use. I'll probably give you a couple of wee ideas or cheats of how to do it quick and save them and stuff like that. I just don't know if I can mention it on here, but
you can mention anything you want.
Well, we can't. So basically, we've made our own PDF document for every single certificate, right? And then it's so easy to then, you just use a PDF editor to then edit that document. So on that document, you can change the,
basically sounds like the PowerPoint thing I've got.
Basically, so it used to happen where it used to be open office we used to use before that, but it changed now. We use a PDF, so you just save the document. So you have a template PDF, EICR template, and you can change all the kind of first couple of pages.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
And then you just save it. So then you can save it on your desktop, or you can save it on your software if you use a job tracking software and that. You can save it inside the job, so it's always there for you. That's the worst thing. So see when you've done like 100 EICRs and you go back and you have to look at the old one, you can't find it because it's on either iCertifies or somebody's email. You need to get it. The hardest part is where to keep all your documents.
The thing I do with mine is I've got EasyCert, and obviously mine is cloud-based as well, so I've just linked my Dropbox to it.
Yeah.
So if I ever get rid of it or lose it, I can just log onto any device, just go on my Dropbox, and they're all there.
So see EasyCert, see if you download that certificate, make it a PDF, and then
it automatically is.
Yeah. So then export that onto your computer so you can edit it. Then make the editable, so it'll be a writable PDF or unflattened. Then you can make changes on that. Then you can send it, or if you've got a job tracker, you can put it onto your job for that day, that PDF.
You know what? Yeah,
see that. Open it on your iPad on PDF Expert, edit it, and then save it back to the job. And then actually you've got the template and the new one. So that means that if it's a failure, you've got an unflattened copy, so that when you go back to do the remedials, you can easily change the certificate again, so you've got a satisfactory one.
I don't know what any of you are talking about because I don't do this.
Yeah, so what we do with if it's an unsatisfactory, which we get quite a bit at the moment.
1 sec.
Yeah, go on, mate. Is obviously we send off the report on an EasyCert, but then obviously I've already emailed it off and I've already have that saved twice. So all we would do is just re-edit the report we originally sent in the actual app, change what we need to, re-send it off and save it again. So on my computer, I actually have the failed report and the satisfactory report, which is handy.
It's good. I think it's good till you.
Oh, has he gone? Kimmy, can you hear us?
I'm here.
Oh,
Unless you're saving them all as the addresses.
sorry, dude, your internet cut out then.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Save it as addresses so you can just search for it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just put it.
Oh, it's gone again. What was that, Sam? What are you drinking?
Was that Brewdog?
No.
Holy Pepsi Max. The Quinnergy is having
Quinnergy
kinetic
moment.
problems up there.
Kinetic problems.
Oh,
You know what I
Anyway.
was gonna say while he loads up, I personally give obviously clients an option whether they want an NIC cert or a standard cert, and obviously NIC cert is going to be more. So always provide them a cheaper option, which is my standard certificates, and that price is like the standard price. So
yeah, because I know some customers. I've had it before when they've turned around and said to me, "Are you NIC registered?" And I say, "No, I'm NAPIT," and I've lost jobs over it. And we've argued back and forth. And NAPIT got involved years ago, but I didn't really care, to be honest.
I used to get that with Stroma. People were like, "Who's Stroma?"
Yeah,
What?
but since I've started using my own software, because my EasySit, it does look the business. Once you print it off, your logo's on it, your number, all your registration, it does look really, really good. And like you say, you can change the colour, but ever since that, I've not really had an issue. I think mine's blue, I think.
Yeah, I think blue's. Do you know what? I did have somebody ask me a question. They asked me, "Oh, do the different colours represent the different level of electrician?" And I thought, yeah, I was like, yeah, it does. The yellow one's like the top qualified electrician,
Yeah.
Here's the Quinnergy. He's back in the house.
Can you hear us, dude?
Jesus Christ.
Don't say that to Kimmy. He's never done anything again.
He's got haters.
All I'm saying is, do you know what? I won't say it. Anyway,
No.
Let's go back to talking about certificates because it's so exciting. No, but honestly, it probably is quite an interesting subject to many of those who are doing EICRs.
Yeah, I mean that was the hardest thing for us to scale. Was like we're probably doing about on average 100 EICRs a week now. On top of that is maybe 200 or 300 gas safeties a week. So
wow.
Managing where the documents are kept, how to use it, how to easily find it, is probably the hardest thing of scaling up when you're doing that amount of paperwork.
How many people do you employ?
So there's just over 30 of us.
Wow.
Oh, look at you.
Nice.
Go, Quinagy.
Thank you. I mean, just to put it in the perspective, like this time 4 years ago, this month, so the start of this month is when I started Quinnergy 4 years ago.
Wow.
And it was only me and a van, but because we concentrated just on certificates and
specialists,
we didn't bother going after like rewires or getting mixed up, so we honed in on every process. Like me and Sam talked about this earlier, like every single process, like how the work orders come in, how you make up the job, how your guys go to the job, how many guys go and do the job, how, like as you said, every single part of it, like where you save the document, how it's made easy to read it and write it and stuff like that.
Because your best mate is actually Jamie Curry of Home Rewire.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So,
and he's another one who specialised. He's just like, right, I want to drill down on one thing. All we do is home rewires, and we do them in a day.
That's incredible. It really is incredible.
Like, mate, his boys get paid well, but they work for that money hard.
They do get paid well, but they work very well. And
but that's the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say they do. I've seen them do. You know when you got the coven on the top. I've seen them work around it like magic. I personally would not be able to do the standard that I've seen some of them do in the houses. Anyways.
So that's the thing, is because they're doing the same thing every day, all day. It becomes repetitive. You just get into the swing of it. Where if you're chopping and changing, you end up, if you're doing EICRs like yesterday, then you're doing a kitchen today, then you're back out doing EICRs.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, but you kind of forget your process. You become really good at something and then you forget and you lose your way of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I did this years and years ago. Did loads of rewires. Did this all by myself. And then it comes to a job. I didn't do anything like that for ages. And then it comes to doing two-way switching. It was intermediate switching. I sat there and I had tried to Google it. And I was like, I can't remember this. No internet. I ended up going and get the book out of the fan. And I was like, as soon as I looked at it, I was like, of course. But it was one of the things I hadn't done it in so long. You do it. It's like, because you've got to remember so many other things. Like you think how many regs we have to know off by heart or specialise in on different stuff. Like domestic, I pretty much know 80% of the regs, should we say. But anything that we slips our mind, we can easily go. I mean, to be fair now, I just ring Gary Hayers or Dave. Oh, all right, guys, it's me again. Why is it Nick? What question is it today? oh, nothing, Dave, just want to see how you are. Well, why are you on the phone, mate?
Yeah,
There's this
you know
little, but yeah, and if there's anything those two can't answer, don't do it. It's just one of them.
But this is actually, before we continue,
Yes.
our friends at SWA would like to ask us a question.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's tech topic from SWA, and this week we would like to understand from you guys how you keep yourselves up to date with new standards and new products. Now here at SWA we do a range of CPD training programs on topics like crimping standards, glands and best jointing practices, but we'd like to understand from you guys how you keep yourselves up to date. Thanks guys, see you next week.
Well, cheers, Dan. That is Dan from SWA asking, where do we get our CPD from?
Okay, so
YouTube.
yeah, you know what? Pro Electrician magazine. There you go. Note that down as
You may never say that again on this podcast.
My favorite. And then what else is there?
YouTube. There's webinars. There's
I was going to say, and
so much stuff.
There's actual special websites that literally just specialize in CPD. They end up adding up and they end up being quite expensive.
Know where the best CPD is at the moment? I'll tell you right now where you can get the best CPD.
That sounds channel.
No, man. That's listen, that's opposite. That's anti-CPD.
You actually get dumber watching some videos.
Don't watch my channel. There's nothing
just subscribe. That's all you want in it.
Having a go at electrics, you ain't gonna learn nothing other than a fat man doing electrics. That's it. However, go to eFix. They have a CPD thing on their website, like a CPD section, and it is so amazing. Because it's all done by Joe and Gary. They sit down. Mainly Joe, he's quite a slim person, but his head's that big because it's just full of electrical knowledge. And honestly, he writes it all out. He'll spend 2 weeks constructing CPD for people, and you can go on. You can go onto eFix and you can check them out. So, I might even put a link in the show notes to eFix on this podcast, just because we love eFix guys.
But where do we get ours from? So if I was to be honest and personally open, I don't. Other than watching other guys' YouTube channels, I have no interest in watching webinars or reading because I can't. Anything like that. It's just what I watch on YouTube.
But do you log it, Nick?
No. For who though? This is my issue. When people say I'm self-employed,
they don't check in on you.
But they don't need to.
Stroma used to check in on me.
No, I've never had it.
You had to log, I think, 40 hours for the year.
Oh no, I've never heard of that for an APIT. To be honest, I'm probably funny, but I've never heard of that, and it's one of them things.
I think if you go for professional registration, IET, and places like that, I think they require
you have to.
To show that you've been doing it. But do you know where I get my CPD from? Where I learn my things from? This podcast, having these conversations, learning about certificates and stuff like that. I'm not saying this is a source of CPD, because let's be frank, it's not. But for me, it is, because this is where I get to have good in-depth conversations about the electrical world. I talk to you guys, which are lowly house bashers, and I get to understand that side of it. You get to talk to me, the king of sparks, doing industrial work. We're proper electricians doing proper stuff.
Oh, wow.
And this is how, and so you get to learn from the kings. So it's all good. The kings pass down to the peasants learn from the kings. It's good.
Well, I tell you, we get quite a lot of stuff sent out in toolbox talks. So from our assessors, we get a toolbox talk set out every month, and we've got when you get to a certain amount of employees, you've got to then demonstrate that you're learning from that. So it's all recorded that way. So we do it by toolbox talks, and eFix is brilliant as well. I love eFix.
I must say, to be fair, thinking about it, I have had a lot of emails from NAPIT doing webinars on different stuff. I've just never ever clicked on one.
Listen,
if I'm honest.
Listen, it's a certain type of person that watches a webinar. They're hard. They're difficult.
I can't do it.
You know what? I just can't. I'd much rather there's a new series on Netflix at the moment called Jupiter Legacy or something. It's so good. That? It's so good.
Oh, I started watching 100 after the other week after the Spark. It's good. Yeah,
it's quite dark. It gets heavy.
Well, yeah. There's the spaceship one where you think other people are going to sacrifice themselves, and you're waiting for them to go. Oh, don't worry, guys, we've got this. And then, no, they're all gone. Wow.
It's quite heavy. Like I've had to have a
Yeah.
little break from it because like 5 seasons in, and like they've committed genocide on like 100 different times, and you're like, do you know what? I need to relax on this a bit. It's making my life a bit dark. But coming back to the CPD question,
Sorry.
I feel like the greatest source of CPD in the universe is Monday Club, followed by eFix, and then
Sparky. Sparky Ninja does loads of webinars. Well, he has done, and I know he's done some stuff. He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Across
he
just
has.
webinars to try and progress
Not
the
our
18th
biggest
edition
fan, though,
stuff.
is he?
What's that?
Not our biggest fan.
Doesn't matter. He does some great stuff for the
He
electrical
does.
industry.
Listen, let's give credit where credit's due. You want some good learning resources? Hit up E5. That is what they do.
Yeah.
That is what they do very, very well. They do podcasts very badly, but they do educational podcasts very, very good. I'm having a dig and compliment at the same time. What do you want? It's friendly banter. It's competition out here.
It is, but I'd say they put a lot of time. I was listening to,
Mad
I don't know if it was on Paul's or E5's Instagram the other day that they're getting together, and weeks they spend together figuring out CPD, and my God, they take my hat off to them because the stuff they have to learn and put forward, it was why they need to make sure what they're putting out is correct, and the backwards and forwards. And I'd take my hat off to them, like genuinely.
Yeah, do you know what
I couldn't do it.
They're like real studious people, passionate about the industry, doing like banging it out there. But hashtag don't listen to their podcast, watch their webinars. Ours is better.
I can hear now. Sorry, I did the stupid thing. I opened the AirPods.
Why did you do that?
And then it disconnected me from these ones. Sorry.
But moving on from that, we got a couple of things. So we've heard about Kimmy's week.
Can I go back to one more time?
No, I'm joking. Go on.
Is that my tattoo? That's for you.
Oh, you're joking! I'm about to get one done next week.
What?
A lightning bolt on my hand.
Like that?
Yeah, but here.
Yeah, don't get a matching one. It's gonna look weird if you've got the same birthday, Nick, and the same tattoo.
Anyway,
okay. I was gonna say, so that book I showed you guys last week, I ended up reading it, and it's actually really, really good. So that's kind of CPD.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to just I'm gonna buy that.
You know what? Literally, I thought I'm gonna dedicate a whole day to it, so I booked off a whole day to read. And it only took about 2 hours, and it had loads of good points in it. I wrote them out, but a lot of it is actionable steps, which obviously what our books are about. But it's really, really good, and I would definitely recommend it. And obviously he's got the free version on his website. I paid the £15 because I like hoarding books, as you can tell. But yeah, he's got a free version on his website, and I totally recommend it.
It's what's it called? The Sparks Toolbox by J. Dwayne.
Yeah, James Dwayne.
He is scheduled. Well, we are in talks for him to come on the podcast, especially for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, be good to.
I'm gonna quote all my favorite quotes and maybe get it signed like somehow virtually.
He is. He's done something called the Sparks Toolbox. It's a book just talking about how to better run your business, sort of thing.
I don't think you need it, Quinnergy. Yeah. Craig doesn't need it.
Quinnergy's like pish.
You know what struck out to me, because he's got quite a lot of quotes in it that relate to life in general, and I'm quite a deep philosophical person, so I was like, I totally like it.
You're not.
Oh really?
No.
But can we talk about my week now? Because no one wants to hear about
your
Nick.
Week, we know what happened. You nearly died like 10 times this week.
I don't think I've heard about next week yet. I never heard what next week.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, thanks, Craig. So my week. Well, what happened? What was I doing on Monday, Sal? You rang me.
I don't know. What was you doing? Oh, he's playing with his virtual reality headset.
So I bought one of the Oculus VR headsets, and well, my mate's got it, and I wanted one for ages. I thought, oh yeah, Sam. But I was playing with it at home like in the evening. But the problem, because I'm so tall, when I was using it, I kept punching the ceiling. I broke the light fit in the lounge. Then I punched the fish tank.
You're so hard.
No, really, it wasn't. It really hurt. And I thought, if I'm on the unit on Monday, I just filmed some sponsorship stuff at the beginning. I thought, while I'm loading it, I'll download a Star Wars game. And oh wow, And then Sam rang me, and every time he rang me, the first time he rang me, I just set my camera up, just started recording, going through the lines what I needed to say for the sponsorship bit. And I always mute my phone and put it on the side. But when I'm wearing this thing always rings, and I can't ignore it. And it's like, Sam's here again. So you got me on my edit my videos every time. I'm gonna make a little footage, like little 20-minute video every time I'm recording something. Sam rings me. But yeah, then I played on that for a bit, and then I don't know what I did for the rest of the day. Oh, I had a call out, which sucked, but hey. Yeah.
Cool story, bro. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So yeah.
So this week, I had a catastrophe. Like Nick actually.
Catastrophe.
We both picked up a troll last week as well, didn't we? So you got your own troll that you've had for a while.
Yep.
I got a troll this week, who's apparently coming to fight me on the weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's mental.
I never knew about this. What?
Yeah, no, he's coming all the way from sunny Stevenage. He's going to travel down to Margate, and he wants to fight me. So that's hilarious, you know, grown men talk. That so yeah,
Give us a clue. Give us a clue. Who is he?
Oh, you ain't gonna know. So that's hilarious.
Is there another electrician?
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever, man. You know, whatever floats your boat. And then got so drunk on Sunday. I think we've covered this.
Yes.
And then Monday, but I got drunk early, so it's like 5 o'clock by the time I'd finished drinking. I woke up at 1 o'clock, hungover, went downstairs, had 4 pints of water, a couple of paracetamol, went back to bed, watched some TV, you know, fell back to sleep about 3 o'clock, woke up, and I felt all right. And then I got to work, and I just felt a little bit rough, a little bit like, I don't know, low energy, if you like.
Hungover?
No,
so people normally call it.
I wasn't hanging. I was just like, and like, so I was doing a video about a really boring subject, and I was like, this is so dumb. It's basically drilling a hole in a box. Why am I even making a video about it? And I turned round to crawl underneath this bit of a tray, and there's stud that was sticking down about, I don't know, probably not even an inch, and it scalped me. And blood all pouring down my face, and it was a whole palaver, and I had to go to the hospital for the second time in 2 weeks, get that glued back together, and yeah, so it's been a rough week. And what I wanted to talk about, just very briefly, is safety. And here's a safety notice from Fat Sam. Kimmy, stop laughing. Here's a safety notice from Fat Sam. It wasn't entirely my fault. There was a lot of processes and stuff not in place, that resulted in this accident. And what I would say is, what was my fault is my acceptance of going into a dodgy work environment and working in an environment that doesn't respect your health and safety. And I would say, don't do a job that doesn't meet your standards of health and safety, because I did that and I paid the price, and I've had an infection in my arm, I've had a big cut on my back, and now I've had a cut on the head, and it's my fault because I don't have to do this job. I'm not a slave. I don't have to do it. I can walk off that job at any point. I'm not going to go under. I'm not going to lose my house. I need to, and this is. You have to draw a line to what's acceptable, but you can easily fall into this sort of state of play where you just end up doing dumb stuff on site just because you're there. And I've learned a lesson from it, and the lesson is, have a standard and stick to it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think a bit of paper or like a risk assessment or method statement would have changed that outcome?
I do, because so that is my responsibility. Is I accepted the danger when I went under there. Like, I know it's dangerous under there, but I still went under there anyway. Right? That's my fault. What's their fault is there's no safe access, safe egress. There's no rapid escape lines. There's no if you had a heart attack under there, basically you're dead. Like, no one's getting to you and no one's getting you out, especially a fat man like me. You're not going to stretch me out under there. Like, it's going to be a problem. There's no quick way in. So I would say there's certain points under there you won't get someone out even within an hour. You'd have to literally start getting like a massive grinder out and make a hole in the floor. It'd be nonsense. And there's no like official statement about how they would deal with it. There's no risk assessment. There's no plan of escape. There's no nothing under there. And the thing that upset me the most about it wasn't the fact that I, like, when I was like, so if you imagine it's like that, and I've gone like that, and I could hear something ripping, and I was like, oh, that's my head. And I put my finger there, and I was like, oh, that's my skull. And it was all blood, and it was all coming down. And I was like, it looked like I'd been in a zombie film or something.
The first thing he did was send us a picture of his bloody head.
Of course. Like, I was like, footage. But the reality is, I went back the next day. So obviously I went A&E, had my head stitched. Well, not stitched up. They glue it, didn't they? Anyway, I went back the next day, went down there, and if you go to my channel, Fat Sam Electrical, you can see all the footage and stuff that I took that day. And the next day I went back, I went down there, and this bit of stud still had a tiny bit of my scalp and hair just hanging off of it. No one had gone down to see, like, what had happened down there then? Like, what can we do to make it safer? They just went, oh, he's gone. Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the mindset. I was really disappointed with that. And it just goes to show that no one really cares.
Yeah, I think that I worked offshore for a while, and see, working offshore is you can't get any work done because of health and safety. It takes weeks of processing and organising and the look of every little detail. But that's why working offshore is not cost effective for the companies. They lose so much money. So it's finding that balance of how far do you go with every scenario.
Self-responsibility is key in this. Self-responsibility is key.
But did you know all the risks and all the hazards down there? That's the next thing. If you didn't know what you're going down to,
they're not highlighted. But as an experienced spark, you know, you can take a look at an installation and go, right, well, that ain't got end caps on, that ain't got stud caps on, they ain't got washers on. It's obviously been slung in because it's a crappy environment to sling this containment in anyway. So what, like, it might take you, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to get to where you need to underground. Now, if you've forgotten your stud caps, you're like, oh, fucking, we'll do that later. I'm not going back down then. I'm not going all the way back up, getting stud caps, coming all the way back down again. Just going to carry on. So I think there is an element that you know it's a 2-bob installation, but the reality is when you're down there, you don't think it's going to happen until it does. It's the same old adage. And it's much like, I messed up because I went down there and accepted the danger of going down there. I know that it's a crappy installation. I've already caught myself twice down there, and I'm still down there working without protest. That's my fault.
Yeah, but do you want to be that person that protests, or?
Well, it
depends how tired he is. If he can't be asked to do it, he's going to protest. If he's in a good mood, he'll just get on with it.
No, because you know what? Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when I was like, do you know what? I can't be asked to be down there anymore. You know, and you, like, we was down there solidly for maybe 5 weeks, solidly pulling in cables all day long, epoxy, pulling in cables and doing stuff down there in a real harsh environment. But we accepted it, and it's like, oh yeah, well, you take the rough with the smooth, we get to go early and stuff like that, and you fall into a mindset like this group think, and it's not healthy. It's not. And this is where these, like, toolbox talks and the health and safety guys that come round, you know, they sort of keep that relevant in your mind. But where they don't have this on this site, it's not relevant, and you do forget about the things. There's no toolbox talks or anything like that. Listen, lads, look out for the sharp objects down there today. Just a little bit of extra help. Nothing like that. And so that's their responsibility. They've dropped the ball on their responsibility. I dropped the ball on my personal responsibility.
Yeah, and that's what's key about, like, training and development all the time. And it's hard for guys that are on their own, self-employed, because how do you train yourself? How do you, where do you get that information from? Like, I'm dyslexic as well. I can't read, I can't write, I can't take information in that well. I need to visually.
Sucks, doesn't it? It sucks, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, you need to go and somebody says, by the way, don't touch that. Like, it's going to hurt you. But if it's written in front of you, it doesn't. I don't take it in.
Yeah.
So that's what's hard about being self-employed, is where do you get this information? Where do you get the training from? And that's where YouTube is good. Conversation like this, where it's interesting and you're getting a level of information. I mean,
this is kind of where Monday Club comes into its own, in my opinion. Obviously, it's my baby, and I love what we do. But I think these conversations, people will be listening to and going, "Do you know what? That happened to me." Do you know, people are relating to it, and we're having conversations about our weeks. We're not having
the real world stuff,
like pre-laid out. So the conversations about our week can be anything. Like this week I got my head stabbed. Last week Kimmy was like Jesus. Like, do you know what I mean? These things happen, and we sort of have these conversations, and I think we bring certain like subjects up just through conversation. That's quite powerful, and I like it, and that's why I keep coming back to wanting to do this.
Me too. I'm back here every Monday. I love it.
I don't have a choice.
No, you don't have a choice, Nick.
Sorry, Sam.
But listen, we are at that time. If we go on much longer, we're going to turn into pumpkins.
Time? What? That was quick.
Well, I think I was only on for about half an hour. The amount of time my Wi-Fi went down.
Well, do you know what, mate? For all your success, can you be successful at getting some decent Wi-Fi?
It's usually fine. It must be something. You must be sharing it off for me. You must be sapping mine.
Yeah, because we live in England, not a third world country across the border, across Hadrian's Wall.
Hey, wow.
You know what? It's always been my dream to go to Scotland, though. You can't diss it.
Listen, how many dreams have you had today? So
she's got a lot of dreams.
I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer, honey. I dream a lot,
but
and I make them come true.
NIC. You dream to be NIC. You dream to go Scotland. Listen,
you know what? I'm
Scotland's only up the road,
Scotland
mate.
next week. Watch me. Don't
hang on.
Me. Hey.
Hang on. Right.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to see you, Nick.
And Sam.
And all of us, yeah.
Oh, depending which way Sam is on my screen, is it that way? So our next episode, it should be in the unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
how far away are you from Redditch?
Isn't it?
How far away is Redditch from you?
Where's Redditch? I'm terrible at geography. I'm sorry.
But, I mean, I was hoping that you were going to say it's like 5 minutes away.
I am half an hour away from Birmingham.
So
I am 3 hours from Birmingham.
And I am like much further.
Basically,
if I go and tune in my radio down, like if I drive to the front and I tune in my radio
stations.
Yeah, French. Yeah, we've all heard it before, Sam. No one cares.
So, Sam, where are you again? Where are you, Sam?
I am in Margate, and I've got to travel to Nick's silly unit.
Oh, Redditch from me is
not far.
Why have I got no internet?
It's the other side of It's the other side of Birmingham, so not far. About half hour. Redditch is about half hour. What's funny?
Sake.
Somebody's stealing Nick's Wi-Fi as well.
We got Wi-Fi gremlins. It's a Quinnergy. Has bought Wi-Fi gremlins.
Sorry. I've got you. I lost you. I just typed in Redditch on Google Maps, and then for some reason these are connected to this. Then what's going on?
Anyway.
Well, I'm down in Bath, London, Nottingham, and Redditch over the next couple of weeks.
So we are recording obviously on a Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
You know what? I really want to like cough a little bit, but you know all this like C word stuff. It's like I'm scared to just do that. Crazy, right?
She's got it.
That's a code. There's something behind that.
What?
Huh?
You're not saying like certain. You had to put in certain names in the last episode or certain words.
Yeah, I did, but I stopped playing that game now. No, I stopped playing that game because I thought we were gonna start recording in person, so I stopped. But yeah, that was so fun. I even got Nick to say "Why I man." That was bonus points.
So Kimmy's been playing this game with her followers on Instagram. Where
My
she's come
wonderful
out-
friends.
She hasn't got no friends. That she plays this game where they give her a silly word and she has to say it on Monday Club. And to be fair, we didn't know.
Yeah, I blocked them all from seeing my little Instagram stories, so they couldn't see. And one time, I forgot to block Mark, and then Mark's like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, Mark, please don't tell them about this game, like, please." So yeah, I had so much fun. Literally, so many funny suggestions, and I got in most of the words. And
Yeah, no, I got to give it to you. You smashed it.
Yeah.
you know
Right.
what? One time I even let them choose my hair color. I was like, "Should I go blonde or blackhead?" I was like, "Black." I was like, "Okay, guys." It was so cool.
I'm maybe going to try that, but the thing is, we've not got a lot of followers. I think we've only got a couple of thousand followers. Yours have got like tens of thousands.
No, I have
That's
not.
just Nick.
Oh, is it? Oh well. Maybe
But
I'll
listen,
try and steal some.
so Quinnergy, you are going to be our new returning guest.
Yes. So I think next week I'll do it down at the office so that the Wi-Fi is
Yeah,
perfect.
please, you know.
Mm.
This is nonsense. And maybe we'll delve into vehicles next week because I know Nick's got a new vehicle coming. The Quinnergy's got a new vehicle coming. No,
Yeah.
he's got plenty of vehicles.
It's got
And I've
lots.
got a new vehicle coming. So,
Yeah.
Did you find your
next
old? You know what? I found my old vehicle, by the way. It's all fine. But
Oh,
you know
that's
what? The
oh,
battery's
listen,
dead.
Save it. Save it.
conversation for next week's one. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Next
might need
week.
2 hours for next week then.
Gearheads on Monday Club. No, Motorheads on Monday Club. Right, listen. Monday Club, we're out.